Hey, it's Guy Sebastian.
And Sam Fischer.
And we are here with Milky having a chat.
Yep, that's what we're doing.
I did that on purpose. I left you nothing to say on purpose to make you awkward.
I can never feel awkward. Antidote was inspired by one of Guy's band members' wedding speeches. The end of the speech was, you're the antidote to my problems. And Guy heard that I was coming into town and slid into the DM and said, let's write a song. And I jumped at that chance because I've been a fan for forever. I don't know, I kind of came into the studio. He had a chordal idea, melody idea, concept idea, title idea. And I was like, let's plug and play. And away we went. And Antidote is what came out the other end.
It was far from plug and play, but it was there was still a lot of work to do. And look, yeah, I mean the chorus and kind of the chords were sort of mapped out, but not only the concept really. Like melody was there, but the lyric wasn't. And then Sam.
I feel like it fell out of us though.
It was very quick. I think because of our chats, and it's funny how songwriting sessions happen. You know, people probably think we just sit in a room and just start like making music, but it's almost always therapy for like the first 2 hours. And, you know, we obviously chat about all of our mutual things that we've got going on, but then we chat about life. And depending where you are in that moment in a room with strangers, many times someone's more than likely going through something. But for this one, it wasn't so much that. I told Sam about my drummer Andy and that wedding speech, and when I played you this idea, it was after about 2 hours of talking, because I was picking Sam's brain about this city. You know, the city's gonna break your heart. I've been such a huge fan of that song for so many years, and I was like, dude, I added that song about 1.5 years before it blew up, you know, to my Spotify. What was the story? Why did it take so long? And then Sam shared that story.
Yeah, I mean, you know, because the world's unfair. No, I mean, you know, like 1.5 years after this city came out, I got a message from someone saying that, you know, they were like, I don't know if you know this, but there's an app called Tik Tok, and I'm pretty sure your song's the biggest song on that app. And I was like, what is Tik Tok?
But you had noticed, right, that there was
hundreds
of thousands of streams.
The streams had started just going up, you know, from doing 1,000 streams a day for 1.5 years, which I was stoked with. Like that was great. It had all of a sudden gone to like 10,000, 30,000, and I was doing 100,000, and we had no playlisting, and I didn't understand what was going on. And then turns out it was this new app called Tik Tok, and so I downloaded the app and seeing that it had gone viral, but it didn't have my name, it didn't have the song title, and I was like, oh my god, I've gone viral and no one knows it's me. And that was the strangest thing emotionally to deal with. And then I don't know, you know,
it was faceless.
It was
and
faceless.
Now that you see the face, look at it. How could you miss that piece of the puzzle? It's a beautiful face.
I'm gorgeous. And the world was without for so long, and now I'm trying to like attach myself to the song so people know, and also to let them know I'm Australian. Hello. Before this city it came out originally, I had been through this horrible situation where I was being abused and just really fell out of love with what I was doing and being an artist and the music industry in LA, and the people I was keeping around me just had horrible intentions. And I was like, you know what? I will not survive if I continue to do this. And so this city kind of in a way saved my life. And you know, bringing it back to Antidote is about those things that save you. And for me, it was music, and, you know, it's my wife, and it's now my friends and the, you know, the love that I have in my life, and the people who make me feel good about just being me. And that's what's been so beautiful about releasing Antidote, is getting to see the way people inject their own stories into the song. And I think, you know, when words fail, music speaks, and that's exactly what's going on. And it's just an honor to sing with this guy. And
that's where you lose the microphone.
It was so beautiful. It's sincere for so long.
I have the power. That it is amazing singing with Sam. I mean, I was such a huge fan, so yes, I did slide into his DMs, and I was like, dude, heard you're coming to Australia. Like, if you've got time to write, like, I've got a studio at my place.
I was like, yeah, fine.
and the song fell out of us, and it, you know, we wrote the verse and chorus quite quickly, and then it sat for 6 months, and we just kept texting each other, and I always knew it was special. I couldn't stop listening to it and getting ideas for it and adding bits to it. And then Sam came over again, and I was like, I know the bridge that this needs. I can hear where it needs to go. We just need to arrive there somehow now. And it's sort of, you know, I was in my foyer. I've got this piano in my foyer, and started playing these chords, and, you know, it's quarterly the simplest song ever. And we started singing these melodies, and I think you started singing some melody, and I started singing the words in the hopeless and the lonely, you know, like in when I'm frozen in my weakness. It was all these kind of desolate things of light and shade, you know, but I always come home to this thing. And for us, you know, when you hear some of those lyrics of, you know, it's funny how I almost walked away from the very thing that saved me. And you know the story behind it, you know, like, you take my feet from stumbling to dancing, you make it safe to get older. There's so many lyrics in there that, when, you know, from our perspective, we wrote it about the impact that music has, you know, made for us. But then it changes, you know. For me, I've been, you know, sort of thinking, you know, a bunch of things lately, and been in this headspace where my Antidote's a completely different thing as I listen to this song now. I still don't get tired listening. No. And when you've spent that long on a song, like, I went to LA, got all the choir vocals on this, kept layering it up, you know, got my friend Michael Fatkin put some stunning layers to this song with some of the pad guitars and other drum elements, and you know, it's funny, even the drums, like, there's 3 sets of drums on this where I programmed some drums. Cyrus, who's a writer on the song as well, he was in the initial session, some of the beautiful stuff that he did, and then Michael Fatkin's drums, and ended up just muting bits from each of our like drums, and there's so many layers, even though it sounds, you know, kind of minimalish. There's a lot of layers behind this song to make it lush and emotional. For me, it's all about the bridge. Like, I know the melodies 100%. And stuff are dope in the verse, and
it's crazy. This song, I don't know about you, but when I put out songs, before they're out, I rinse them. I play them over and over and over again. It's like the only thing I listen to, and once they're out, I never listen to them. And this is one of the few songs that I've been a part of that I still listen to.
Yeah. Yeah, and like, look forward to singing with you. Like we sung it on Idol last night, and sung it at a charity event the other night too. It's just, I think our voices together it does something to me. Like, recording Sam's vocal was bananas. Like, hey Sam, do an ad-lib track, and like, wish you were in the studio. It was just, you know, those moments that we live for as writers and as creatives, where, you know, everyone's high-fiving in the studio. You know, you're having your moment where you feel like you've just, you know, captured something really, really special, and that feeling is there almost every take with Sam.
Same with him. He won't say it by himself, but it's exactly the same. It's kind of the choices that you make when you sing. It's cool because it pushes me to be better. And that's been the most amazing thing about this whole process in general, is like learning so much from him.
I think from each other. Like, I hear the nuance that Sam will put into things, and it's just so, like, one of the craziest things that people, I guess, you know, I do too, not just non-musical people, but I think, you know, you hear singers like Sia or Tate McRae or who did I mention before? Alicia Cara, like, those sort of singers, you know, Lewis Capaldi, you know, they just sing a verse, you know, forget about when they're soaring in the chorus, like, just the verses and stuff, like, just the nuance that you put into every word, and you don't know why you're hanging on to every word. You know, you don't know why you're clinging on to every lyric. But even when you do the like a verse thing that you do on TikTok, like, if people are listening to all those words because of the nuances that you put in. Whereas a lot of people just in a studio start singing and they're not thinking. To be able to sing like that, it takes a lot of feeling and a lot, like, you're putting effort into every word.
You know, the best advice that I ever got, as for people who are songwriters out there. The best advice I've ever got was from Kara Diaguardi, who's a phenomenal, amazing, super successful songwriter. I played her a song and she said to me, I bet you get away with writing shit songs because you can sing them well. And I was like, but it was so true. And it made me focus on concept and lyric and how there is a big difference between people who are just singers. There are millions of singers, but there aren't necessarily millions. Those singers might not necessarily be artists as well. And bridging that gap is, you know, sometimes people can't, sometimes people can. I feel lucky that I got that advice when I did, because it totally molded everything that I do and the way that I approach writing songs. And phrasing is really important, and you do exactly the same thing. So
well, my biggest lesson...
We're fans of each other, if you can't tell.
My biggest lesson was just listening to my own music and going, how did you let that slide? Like, how did you let those lyrics be the final lyrics? You know, like, I think it's like I listen to older stuff of mine and I would just go, yeah, that rhymes, that's cool. And, you know, like, I don't know, I don't classify myself as a real writer back then. I was just writing. And whereas now...
He's a writer, yo.
No, well, it just has to, it's the amount of love and effort that goes into every line, because rightly so, you know, sometimes it's very laborious and it's very boring and you'll stick on something because you know there's a perfect way to say that thing. Sometimes it can be the simplest way and you overcomplicate, or sometimes it can actually require, it needs to be an analogy that said, you know, songs like, she's my coffee when I wake in the morning. She's like, yeah, cool. It sounds very like, oh, that's nice. But you don't understand how hard it is to write a song like that. Like, it's really difficult.
Daniel Caesar always, please do not lean on me, I'm unstable. Oh, so good.
He's touring.
For me, I'm touring. I can't wait. I just put out my album, I Love You, Please Don't Hate Me, in December. And now I finally get to play headline shows, proper headline shows.
That album, P.S., is stupidly good. Like, stupidly good. Those, like,
thanks, brother.
Carry It Well, all of those songs. All of the songs.
Cheers, man.
Go and see it live.
Yeah, I'm playing May 9th in Brisbane, May 10th in Sydney, May 11th in Melbourne. Tickets still available, go get them. And yeah, I can't wait, because that's really the main thing that I missed out on because of the pandemic, was touring when this city was big. And so touring in May, touring through Europe and the UK in May as well, and then the US in June, and then some supports, and then hopefully at the end of the year coming back and hanging out and, you know, doing that. But yeah, just music. With every tour comes a new release. So yeah, that's just all music.
Yeah. Pretty much the same for me. We're filming The Voice at the moment, so that'll go to air, and then I'll be just back to music, finishing my album. I've written it now, so like I've recorded, I think 3 or 4 songs completed, and then I'll just record maybe the other 10 or so.
I've heard some. They're sick.
You didn't have to return serve.
No, it's true though. It's true.
No, I'm looking for... Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah.
See, I know.
I think I'm gonna call it something.
Returns.
I think I'm gonna call it something like Feels and Feel Goods or something like that, because I feel like that's just the theme. Yeah, because it's just, there's not really many in betweens. It's either just like feel goods or feels. Yeah. Lots of feels on this record.
Doo-wops and hooligans.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was going to do a double album, but I think I'm just do all the feels on one and then feel goods. Oh, and
full spectrum. Sorry.
Yeah.
Keep going.
So that's, I reckon, later this year. Well, not later this year, like a few weeks away. I'll start recording the rest of it, and then I've got a movie coming out, which is pretty random. It's like a Bollywood movie that I started writing music for initially, and I was just going to be the voice of the protagonist, who's like 17-year-old Kabir, is the main character, and he it's a Bollywood movie. So it's like, but it's shot in Australia, so most of it's in English. Beautiful story that, originally it was just music that I was involved in, and then I got cast to play his dad. It's a fairly major role, and so I grew this big bushy beard, and
it was sick.
Got my acting hat on. It was really cool. It was very challenging, but so that'll come out in August, and then I think just touring, like I'll be similarly like Sam's touring and stuff through Europe and UK and stuff soon. I'll probably, do a bit of Asia, Europe. I need to just get out on the road again. On the road again. I forgot we were even doing anything.
I know.
I thought we're just doing a podcast.